It was another lousy election for pollsters who were, well, it looked like trying to suppress the Republican vote. I'm sure that's not the case. At the onset of the campaign, many on the left were predicting a blue wave, predicting outrageous margins of victory for Biden. The opposite, of course, is exactly what occurred. In the House of Representatives, Republicans now have a net gain of 7 seats. And in the Senate, Republicans holding 50 seats while we await the outcome of 2 runoff races in Georgia. In governor's races this year, 11 seats up for elections, and Republicans won 8 of them, including Montana, a net gain for the party. There is also one state in which the state legislature changed party control. That one was in New Hampshire. And yes, the Republicans won that one as well, winning both the state house and the Senate. So what happened to the blue wave? Well, sounds like, again, the pollsters were trying to suppress the vote, or they simply forgot their craft. The Republicans also expanding their majority of state legislators from 52% to 54%. That's why a lot of people doubt the outcome of the presidential vote, because it makes no sense with the down ballot victories for Republicans across the country. Joining us tonight is Rudy Giuliani, President Trump's personal attorney, renowned federal prosecutor, former mayor of New York City, in fact, America's mayor, and now leading the fight in court for a free and fair election and this president. Rudy, good to have you with us. I want to start with the hearing, if I may, because sure, there was a fascinating amount of information. Forensic experts, computer forensic experts, psyops and cyber warfare experts, and to a person, they were lined up with the concerns of, well, we know 74 million Americans who believe this race was absolutely rigged at the presidential level. Your thoughts about how it went?
Well, I thought it went very well, because it was the first time that we had the opportunity to put our evidence out. I mean, they've been suppressing it, including judges suppressing it. They don't want the American people to hear the evidence of fraud. They just keep repeating, oh, they don't have any evidence. They don't have any evidence. We have a mountain of evidence. We only put on a small amount of it as representative of what we have. But you can see, I mean, we're talking about ordinary people who were threatened, who were prevented from voting for President Trump, ballots that were counted in secret in a back room, hundreds of thousands of them, not just a few, mail-in ballots that just don't make sense. They sent out, the state of Pennsylvania sent out 1.8 million mail-in ballots, but got back 2.5 million. Somebody had to be making up a lot of phony mail-in ballots for that to happen. I mean, that really proves, without even a witness, that they were stuffing the ballot box. And then you had witnesses, including a Democrat, who was shocked at how far they went in Philadelphia to steal the election. This is not a situation of a few mistakes. There is a massive fraud in the city of Philadelphia and Pittsburgh, involving now about 700,000 to 800,000 votes that were stolen. And the legislature is in charge. The Constitution, under Article 2, Section 1, Clause 2, gives the authority to the legislature to determine how to select electors. And given the fact that this vote count in Pennsylvania is false, they can't possibly certify it. They'd be committing perjury if they certified it. They now know that. I think we convinced them that the vote counts off by about 600,000 or 700,000 votes in just Pennsylvania alone.
Well, let's turn to Pittsburgh and the case there, in which Sean Parnell, Republican candidate for Congress, and Congressman Mike Kelly, pursuing their lawsuit. They won a temporary injunction against the certification of the state of Pennsylvania's vote. And their claim is that the mail-in ballot that has fouled up elections not only in Pennsylvania but across the country, as you know better than anyone, is outright unconstitutional. Your thoughts about the importance of that case, because that goes to the entire country.
Well, it was unconstitutional in the way in which it was passed, but it was also unconstitutional in the way in which it was carried out. Basically, the state legislature determines the rules for an election, and the Secretary of State and the Director of Elections in Pennsylvania decided to run a different election than the law provided. They allowed people, for example, in Democratic parts of the state to change their ballot, but not in Republican parts of the state. They'd actually look at the mail-in ballots, and if they were in Democratic parts of the state, they'd call you up and they allow you to fix it. In Republican parts of the state, they wouldn't do that. I mean, that is completely crazy, totally illegal. Then,
Rudy, what is the next? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Well, the step in Pennsylvania is pretty simple. They can decertify the result, and they can certify that Trump is the winner. The state legislature has that power. In fact, it belongs only to them. The governor of the state has absolutely no power over a presidential election. The election commissioners, the Constitution of the United States says that the state legislature will decide on the electors.
And your expectation is what, and by what time?
Well, we are hoping that they seem to be very impressed with the evidence. I mean, one of the good things when the press lies like this and says there's no evidence, when they see evidence, they're shocked. They're shocked to see that we have 50 witnesses that can prove that they were secretly counting ballots and deliberately holding them away from Republicans. They seem shocked when we had an expert witness show that at the very beginning of the count, they infused 332,000 votes for Biden into the crappy Dominion machines, which, are worthless. They were shocked that their vote gets sent overseas to be manipulated in Germany by a company that has connections to Venezuela. That was done by their brilliant governor. The governor who doesn't want to celebrate Thanksgiving, right? Governor anti-Thanksgiving.
Well, Rudy, we appreciate watching this unfold because of your efforts and that of the state legislature of Pennsylvania to learn that those Dominion machines today are connected to the internet throughout, as the expert witness put it, from beginning, middle, and end. I'm sorry, Rudy, you get the last quick word.
One way or another, we're going to get to the truth here. And the truth is that Donald Trump won this election, and they robbed him. And we're going to prove it.
Rudy Giuliani, you heard it here. Thanks so much, Rudy.